Comments video part 2. Let's hear directly from the fish's mouths or fingers. AK says, ghosting is one of my most powerful weapons because I mean it. If I'm pushed that far, there's no need to go over things and give fake closure. I'll just be out. I know how hurtful ghosting is, so it's only ever done under severe circumstances. That last sentence is key, Pisces, the awareness. Box Elder 9147 says, Pisces definitely have a criminal element to them. I'm a Pisces and I've had a pretty dark day today. Alright, I'm not sure if I want you to elaborate or not, Box Elder. What do you mean Pisces have a criminal element and you've had a pretty dark day today? What have you done? Like you're sitting in your lair, fingertips touching, reflecting on some evil wrongdoings. But yeah, being a criminal is nothing to a Pisces. A Pisces may find it easier to be a criminal than a normal citizen. And I'm being serious. Water Babe says, I'll hand you over to Satan. Said with a love heart, celebration and laughing emoji. That says it all about Pisces. MK says, it's all fun and games Pisces attracting narcissistic people until you start mirroring them manually. Shit gets interesting, they don't like it. 100% facts. Pisces is a real life magnet to narcissists and takers in this life. And they may get away with it for a period of time, but what will eventually happen is Pisces will start reflecting them. That person may notice it, but the Pisces may not. And if there's one thing a narcissistic person will do, is call another person a narcissist. That's the world we're in right now. Narcissistic people calling victims narcissists. Zero self-reflection. But when Pisces actually realizes this, and it may even come from the narcissist gaslighting the Pisces to a point where the Pisces wakes up like, hold on, you're accusing me of doing this and that when that's what you do to me. That's when Pisces puts the nail in the coffin by manually copying them. The conscious mind always catches up with the subconscious mind in Pisces, and it's then when they can decide to either leave you alone for good or consume you. This is how Pisces can hurt you before even meaning to. When you project, Pisces will reflect. If Pisces clocks on, they might deflect with intentions to protect, but if one thing's for sure, Pisces will disconnect before they start getting ideas of how to eject you. Andrew Graham says, we're pricks, we know. It's the absolute bomb, as people never expect us to be nasty, savage and greedy little things. It's like a Trojan horse, but it still shocks people when we unleash our nasty side. We're assholes. Embrace it. Only a true Pisces will speak like this. None of that pussyfooting around stuff. It makes me laugh when I come across Pisces who genuinely acts like they can't do no wrong and doesn't have a bad bone in their body. Evolving NHD says, being the Pisces on the level I'm at now is well. Always has, but right now and past year or so has been the loneliness part of my time here. And I'm okay with that, however, my control over my dark side or indulging it has been the most difficult. I keep coming into contact with such lower vibrating forms and not indulging it for the better good. I feel you, it does get lonely, but it's all necessary. Loneliness reveals the truth. You have your own perspectives because you don't have any outside influences throwing you off. Your mind is spiritually fixed on discovering. You have no choice but to internally explore. And this is where you will come across darkness within yourself. The key is to merge with it. Don't dismiss it. Don't see it as bad. No, it's a part of you. You take control of it. Accept it. The dangerous part is you literally end up having control of it. There's nothing wrong with indulging in it after a careful assessment, because some things literally do need sharking, unfortunately. Maybe you're coming across so much low vibrations because you're supposed to nullify it. You're fighting yourself from doing what you're supposed to. Especially if you keep avoiding it and it keeps reappearing. If a demon keeps circling your block, but you keep avoiding it for the greater good, the demon hasn't gone anywhere, it's still there. You've just avoided it for yourself. Tackling it, so it doesn't bother you or others too, will be for the greater good. If you mean it's you who is stopping yourself from doing some random demonic low vibrational shit, then maybe it's time to come out of isolation and do some fun stuff with others. Join a team, go to a brothel, have some fun. Michelle March says, Pisces don't fear the Grim Reaper. People like us would shake their hands and give him a hug for just being alive. Only a Pisces that has gone through the darkness understands this. Quest says, life is but a dream. We sleep in wake, and wake in sleep. I'll never forget that out of my first astrology book that introed the Pisces section. Beautiful. Kim says, we are so underestimated in every way. This is one thing I never get about the whole Pisces thing. Cool people don't understand us, and sometimes that's our own fault. Sometimes we don't communicate well or can't communicate well, verbally. Sometimes we say one thing and do another. We've got that Gemini going on. It's not hard to see. It's a mutable thing. We can be flaky as hell. But in general, Pisces should just be misunderstood. That's it. But people then underestimate Pisces, and that's where they fuck up. Others don't need to understand or rate Pisces anyway. Pisces just needs to understand themselves, and then they'll be able to understand others to do their job. Whether others understand Pisces or not doesn't even matter. But you shouldn't underestimate the fish that can levitate. I Am Protected says, I've dated 2 female Pisces. Only girlfriends I have had are Pisces. Let me tell you, man, they're the worst. Yeah, this is a common theme with Pisces. Well, I'm sure that other signs get the same treatment, but let's break this down. This person, I Am Protected, has been with 2 Pisces women. Their conclusion is they are the worst. It's so bad that they are searching for Pisces videos in their personal time to understand the experience they had, and even left a comment. Not everyone leaves comments, you know. So this person is dealing with some horrible Pisces trauma. They've been bitten, swimming in the sea looking for answers, got taken to the middle of the ocean twice, and is back on land wringing out their clothes trying to warn people. Anyone who attracts Pisces or Pisces is attracted to them probably has some work to be done. We're attracted to trauma subconsciously, and every single person has a sad story. So maybe you needed some sort of healing. Or on the darker side, you had a karmic lesson pending. Maybe you had 2 lessons pending. Or maybe that first super soaker was so good, you went and got you another one, huh? And yeah, you may be hurt right now, but your debt to karma may have been paid off, my friend. So don't go around tarnishing the fish's name. Live your life, you've got a 3rd chance. You've had 2 Pisces women in your life, so I do hope you are protected as your name says. But don't disrespect the fish. Unless they were literally just 2 dark-sided Pisces women going around breaking hearts, but for you to have had 2 Pisces women and call them both the worst, it's maybe time we spit shine the mirror and take a look at it. Fish may not be good for your diet. Melissa says, it's so crazy. I just found out that I'm a Pisces zodiac sign, and that explains a lot of things that I know a lot about the ocean. The ocean, such a beautiful but scary place. When did you guys actually realize you were a Pisces? I probably knew from about 11ish. MK says, I've only just started reading about the 12th house, and one thing that got me is most of the articles say there's hidden enemies, which I think is true to an extent, but I feel like the hidden enemy can only intrude on a dreamer Pisces in La La Land. Cause when I was a dreamer Pisces, before waking up at 18, them enemies did intrude, but even so, it's not like I didn't know. Cause it's like I could tell with my intuition, but I used to think it was my mind playing games. Since I woke up, it's so easy for me to spot them left, right and center, and I feel like the astrologers ain't really explaining it properly. Cause Pisces are hidden, and we are the ones who can actually be the hidden enemies to others without them knowing. I feel like it's all reversed the way it's being explained, I don't know. Nowadays, it's like people are intimidated by me for some reason, which I don't understand, cause I am still peaceful as fuck. I don't let people see my other side, it's well controlled. A lot of times people will add me on socials then remove me straight away without me even saying a word to them. Or even when I just say wagwan, only it's crazy. But I don't know, I'd really appreciate it if you did a video about the 12th house, you explain stuff way better. This is a true Pisces that's gone through and is going through the phases. I could have wrote this myself. Well, with the 12th house, astrologers speak on it in terms of personal charts, because not everybody's 12th house in their chart is Pisces. Someone might have Virgo in the 12th house, for example. I speak from the default. Pisces is the 12th and last sign from the 12th and last house. That's what makes sense to me. I focus on the 12th house themes simply because that is a Pisces home. It don't matter where Pisces is in your chart, that's where Pisces is from. So everything to do with that house is still to do with Pisces. All that bad shit, the suffering, the imprisonment, the misfortune, the unforeseen circumstances, this is what gives Pisces the sort of weak descriptions we normally get. Astrologers get it from that and act like we're victims of it, but they ignore that that's our home. So we're used to that ish. We may initially suffer, but we got the tools to break the chains and use it on others. Pisces people are not victims in 12th house related things, and this includes prisons and shit like that. We can actually find comfort in those areas, cause it's what we do in general. Reflecting, reading, learning, improving ourselves, finding a spiritual connection, having hope, being optimistic, trying to see the brighter side of things. That's literally what prisoners do. We do that in general. So we're like the prison guards and nurses. Pisces isn't the prisoners and patients in those places. When astrologers say this sign or that sign in your 12th house is a hidden enemy, they aren't chatting shit. That's just how they studied it and practiced it. I've personally not found the sign in my 12th house to be my hidden enemies. I tend to get on with people of that sign. What I have noticed is that that sign is seen as a sort of dream life to me. But when we talk Pisces people who are originally from the 12th house of hidden enemies, Pisces are the true hidden enemy by default. By default, a Pisces will be a hidden enemy to the rest. It's not hard to see. Look at your typical Pisces. They're secretive, they're low key, they get easily offended on a low and may not even let the person know they now see them in a bad light. It's in our nature. It's just if we go with the actions of it or not. Using the 12th house themes is what helps you understand the sign of Pisces more than just looking at Pisces as a standalone sign. Those themes and the planets that rule it. The astrologers who speak like Pisces will have many hidden enemies and shit like that is just waffling. Saying shit like Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions, so Pisces will be deluded and easily fall for illusions. That's not how it works in reality. Some of Pisces' key traits is doing those exact things to others. That's why we got the reputation we do. As you said, even at your most lowest state, your intuition still picked up on intruders. And that's Pisces for you in general. I don't know what your chart looks like, what house Pisces is in your chart, and you don't know mine. But the common factor is where Pisces. What's a hidden enemy to someone that's hidden? Nothing. Pisces can't truly have hidden enemies because they spot them. Because they are one themselves. If not consciously, then subconsciously until they become conscious of it. It takes one to know one. As for people adding you on socials then deleting etc., that also could be like hidden people revealing themselves to you. I don't know if you guys use WhatsApp, I'm sure you do. But there was a time where if someone was trying to look at your profile picture, they may slip and accidentally call you. Things like that is exposure. Then they cut the call, you message them like you called me. They're like, oh no, it was an accident. But now you know they were trying to look at your picture but not interact with you. And Pisces is a sign that will experience these things time and time again of people revealing themselves. But also, Pisces do these things to others too. The difference is, we get away with it more times than not. And the more we spiritually grow, we literally can move like ghosts on this earth. And I'm not even chatting shit. A Pisces can stay hidden for a long time. I will not say forever, but for a long time. A beyond normal time. Everything's reversed with Pisces. Only Pisces knows Pisces shit, and that's how we see it's reversed. There's brainwashers, the brainwashed, and the observers forming their own opinion in all areas of life. Know what category you're in. MM says, Pisces ghosting themselves. Yeah, initially, my friend, initially. Christopher Nicholas Makarov says, I'm Pisces and I'm in love with a Scorpio woman. Is this normal? She's quite a tough girl. I'm more into art and music, but I'm obsessed with her. Of course it's normal. It's actually typical. Keep doing your art and music, but be careful with that obsession, Nicholas, as you may actually need that Makarov if things go sour, cause they do not play. I gotta warn you, bro, from you said she's tough, and from how you wrote that, you sound kinda like an innocent Pisces. And to be on some real hypocritical shit, cool, you know she's a Scorpio, but don't pay any further attention to it. Get to know her for her. Don't let her being a Scorpio and you being a Pisces and all that stuff be like a regular thought, if you can help it. Don't be sending her no random poetic shit. I just walked past a cemetery and it made me feel glum. If only you was here to tell me death's okay, as I feel on your bum. She might not even like all that Quoth the Raven ish. This girl's at work stressing about meeting a deadline and you're sending messages comparing her to death. Just vibe and get to know each other and see how things go. See how things go as people is what I'm trying to say. Everyone say a prayer for our Pisces brother and give us an update. SB says, good Lord, young man, you gave me insights I hadn't considered. Being a Pisces and a ghoster for 60 years. Thank you. My pleasure. You've been a Pisces and a ghoster for 60 years. Damn. Well, that's the fish. Keep thinking Pisces will forever put up with ish. You won't see it coming when they switch up on you, and once they do, it's over. Done. Finito. Nothing will change their mind on that decision. It balances out the indecisive way a Pisces can be. Cause once our mind is made, that's it. No going back. And no, Pisces don't owe you an explanation or nothing. If you've been taking the piss, ghosting is enough communication. You figure it out if you even care. Unless you've been ghosting people for nothing, SB. 60 years of pulling that boat away and making people sink. Elder people ain't innocent. The older the fish, the colder the dish, eh? Nah, I'm playing. Seriously though, ghosting is our thing when necessary. Clean cut, disappear like it's nothing. Unless dark-sided, Pisces don't ghost people for no reason. Cause we truly know what it will feel like for another. Cause we are the ghost of the zodiac. Dixie Dream says, I had to become a closet Pisces at a very young age because of a Gemini mother and a Sagittarius father. Life was fun in that household. I know exactly what this Pisces means. I grew up with a Sag father too, and older female Gemini cousins who were more like aunts, and my closest grandma was a Gemini. Yeah, that soppy Pisces stuff doesn't fly with those signs. You learn very quickly to get your banter game up and thicker skin. You learn to keep things light-hearted because Gemini will mock you. They'll listen, but they'll mock you for it eventually. And Sag won't take you seriously initially. But both Sag and Gemini are kids at heart, so there is lots of fun. I think it's overall the funniest pairing, but that's subjective. I'm sure you've got many crazy stories too, because I could write weeks worth of personal stories on those two signs alone. Aware says, respect the fish, don't upset the fish. Life lesson right there. We know when there's blood in the water. Cold. Ramona says, yes, I make karma worse. Much worse. Give all, take all. There is no try necessary, it's automatic. Some of us should come with a warning label. Yes, I make karma worse, much worse. This is a dangerous woman. Shadow Beats says, as a Pisces myself, all I can say is that words hurt, and I know how to use them to my advantage. This is why there needs to be a disclaimer when Pisces is described as non-confrontational. It gives people the wrong impression. The sign of empathy will be the last sign you want telling you about yourself. Forget even getting physical. You don't want a Pisces speaking on you negatively, because you will feel it right down to your core, because that's where Pisces speaks from and to. Jalava the Flow says, Pisces by Ginger, understand. Duality, the shark, not a goldfish. We don't want to be the teeth. But what are you gonna do? I am a brewmaster. I am a Shaolin Kung Fu master. Because you have a degree or wear black silk around your hip doesn't mean you can go around and kick everyone's ass. But if you get in the ring time and time again and prove oneself, you are a master. I have nothing to prove to myself. I've done it over and over again. I do it only because it's necessary to prove it to you, not myself. Hey, that's some powerful words. I feel this fish big time. You know it's really dangerous when you come across a very practical Pisces willing to show you what they can do. Because we already feel that we have done it time and time again. So when we match that feeling with practically proving it in any field, this is when you see the true nature of the fish. Just leave the Grandmaster alone if you find them peacefully minding their business. One last thing, I've seen Pisces by Ginger mentioned a few times in the comments. I never knew it was a song. I listened to it recently and I was blown away. Pisces women are built differently, seriously. No word of a lie, I have the most random playlist and I was in the whip with my people and this song came on after a drill song. And no one said nothing because it sounds like a chill song until she started spazzing. They were like, what the fuck are you listening to? You guys listen to Pisces by Ginger if you haven't and hear the light and dark side in one. That's Pisces, angel and demon in one. Naturally Curly Hair says, block, block, block. People know what they're doing. Grown people play too many games. I'm a grown woman, I don't have time for it. If you wasted my time, you will no longer waste it. Hey, sign that a true Pisceana. You got to acknowledge and respect it, people. Sharks aren't here to play with you, especially the female ones. Vantage Point says, oh my fucking god, I was with a Pisces female, treated her better than anyone. She ghosted and turned dime on me after 20 years. Trash sign, I swear to god. My sister's ex-husband Shane was a PCP dusthead Pisces that got another pregnant as my sister helped him while his loser self was in prison for 2 years and many more. There had to be a worse sign, and that's stinky floppy fish sign. Vantage Point again says, Pisces of shit. Thank God for my nuclear family never was no Pisces. Weak, coward, rotten fish. Okay, first off, that Pisces of shit, pieces of shit flip is funny. I'll give you that. So you've clearly had an awful experience with the fish, but you're full of so much hate, and it makes me wonder. You was with a Pisces woman for 20 years, 2 whole decades, and treated her better than anyone, then all of a sudden, she just ghosts you. Just like that. I'd love to hear her side of the story. I'm sure she has a lot to say on why she finally left. For all we know, she could have been tired of dealing with 20 years of using the toothbrush under the sink to scrub the shit stains out of your wife fronts. We need to hear her version of events too. We don't know how much times she was yearning for your love and had to deal with an accordion, had to deal with a slinky, made the poor fish feel like she's playing with Stretch Armstrong. Every time she extends it, it goes back to its original state, looking like a shy turtle. For all we know, she was tired, bro. Pisces women don't just leave like that for nothing. A light Pisces could have been done with you from the 10th year, but stayed 10 more years not wanting to hurt you. They don't mean to harm for nothing. So to leave after 20 years for nothing after you apparently treated her better than anyone, which doesn't really say anything. If you punch every person you see in the face apart from one person who you instead just slap in the face, yeah, that person gets better treatment than the others, but they're still getting a shit deal. So that's not a good measure, is it? And if she was such a stinky floppy fish, why did she end up leaving you and not you her? Then your sister's ex-husband Shane was a thief, a drughead, a jailbird and a cheater. Sounds about right, cool. You met a dark or down and out Pisces. My bad on Shane's behalf. Did you really need to state his name? Got Pisces called Shanes out here catching strays for nothing. And you thank God none of your family were the weak, coward, rotten fish sign Pisces. I'd love to know what sign you are. What do we reckon, people? Definitely sounds like someone who got the rug pulled from under their feet. All I can say is heal please. Leaving hateful comments on Pisces videos is not healing. Share your experience, cool. But propaganda against the fish just makes us take a propaganda at the dish. God forbid a Pisces is born into your oh so perfect family. I don't even wish that sort of karma on my enemies. K Cash says, Pisces also is hated by a lot of people. Those laughing emojis is appropriate. Tihan says, my family actually held an intervention. Said I sleep too much and need help. They don't understand that I'm going through heavy shit. I sleep to get answers, communicate and trying to get direction. Yeah, most people won't understand that unless you're a Pisces or a water sign to an extent. It'll be seen as a form of escapism, which it kind of is when it's in accession, but we truly do explore in the dream world and get the answers we're looking for. This is why Pisces is misunderstood too, because when we appear inactive, they don't know internally we're traveling 1,000 miles per hour. We're never actually at peace. Peace is not here on earth. We're on our way to nirvana. We're the closest to it. But here in the waking world, there's always something going on. And if it's not to do with us personally, then it's something we've picked up from another. So the internal work is constant. But as long as you know how important your sleep is, then that's all that matters. I mean, sleep in general is extremely important to the human body, but the dreams us Pisces have on top of it will never be understood externally. It's internally a whole nother world, but it's our world. It's where Pisces goes fishing. Wild Moonchild says, I always ask my ancestors to seek justice on my behalf as they see fit for whatever they did to me. I too have purposely hexed people and seen it all come to fruition. So I now make sure the energy I send is just. Right from the fish's mouth. You know your attack and you know your defense. Be careful with hexing people though. It's a dangerous game. Your ancestors taking care of it is enough more times. A Glock helps too though. Lady K says, cursing is a real waste of your own psychic charge. These people will be devoured by their own shadows. So I let them, rather than cursing them, use their own life energy against them. Psychic pushback, but not curses. Curses will boomerang onto innocent people in the cursed person's family, hitting others who aren't involved. Let them be consumed by their own shadow self and watch the show. Popcorn and all. Pisces Sun, Taurus rising. 2 bull-headed fish. Yeah, I love this. This is the Pisces words of wisdom you hear about, and not one lie has been told. It's true. Innocent people can get caught in the crossfire. The thing is, when Pisces goes there, they don't care. If it's an indirect that still affects the target, that will still bring satisfaction to some. So I guess it depends on the fish and what they're reacting to. To the Pisces hexers, take note though. We're the sign of karma, but that doesn't mean we're immune to it. We'll probably feel the effects of karma quicker than anybody else too. You can send something that boomerangs, like Lady K says, but come back and hit one of your own people too. Some people also have spiritual protection. 30/3 says, fun fact 107, the most serial killers on this planet are Pisceans. Selma responds, and Virgos. Fun fact. I'm telling you now, the most psychotic energy you can come across on that zodiac wheel is on that Virgo to Pisces axis. All the mutable signs are whack jobs, but that Virgos can be masterminds and grounded if they're dark-sided. Well, I mean, the evidence speaks for itself. Do your research. Out of all the signs, do you know Virgo is a sign that has to consciously learn empathy? To come across a dark-sided or heartless Virgo is not hard at all. There's millions of examples of their lack of empathy for others, but some are smart enough to learn it from a child, or at least on a mental level. They are literally the reverse to us. Pisces can grow losing empathy for people or shutting it off, and Virgo can grow learning empathy on a mental level to serve people. Us Pisces can learn a lot from Virgos in general though, and vice versa. We can teach them empathy and they can teach us discernment. Quite a deadly duo too though. Pisces Otis Toole and Virgo Henry Lee Lucas was a serial killing pair. I think there were a couple too. Christine and Leah Papin, 2 killer sisters. Even Jack the Ripper is now confirmed to be a Virgo. And I'm not one bit surprised by that. That hitchhiker hacker's a Virgo too. That's the psycho sister for real. I got one more example. Ed Boon is a Pisces and John Tobias is a Virgo. And guess which video game these two created? Mortal Kombat. Need I say more? Moondust says, I think I embodied the shark at a very young age. I was a literal menace. To be honest, it's not something I'm proud of, but I definitely had some paranormal experiences as well. The sleep paralysis is no joke, but I feel with age it's gotten better and I'm learning to coexist with both my sides, dark and light. Definitely not something to be proud of, but at least you admit it. At least you take accountability, not be in denial whilst trying to embrace both energies. That's exactly what Pisces is about. Paranormal experiences is just a part of the parcel. Paranormal is normal to Pisces. Fortunately and unfortunately, we must own it. Edward Harvey says, well, the first bit is in response to the dreams video. My mum was Pisces and even though she has moved on to the other side, I do love her. I would like to say that in addition, the potential for a Pisces to become as dark, the sign has to be accompanied also by scorpionic energy. A person's birth chart can be complicated and revenge is, I believe, a Scorpio signature. Scorpio together with the Pisces energy can be dangerous for a few reasons. Pisces, as you pointed out, has the 3-pronged fork of Neptune. 1 prong for destruction, 1 for creation, and the other for maintenance. As one shaman said, knowledge is not power, belief is power. Pisces can create belief and use it to create, maintain or destroy. That's why I always come back to listen to your videos. You bring that knowledge to the surface beautifully. Scorpio has the need to transform people with pain or pleasure. They are usually charismatic and charming, but symbolically has the teeth of a vampire. The archetype of Scorpio is the vampire. Put the two together, and could you imagine a person with all 3 energies of the water signs and Neptune at 0 degrees in the first house? I admit, you really do know a lot about the water signs, Please keep up your videos and I really hope you are blessed. Life ain't easy. That was beautifully written, Edward. I can tell you fully know your stuff. You must be an astrologer. I love that three-pronged Neptune description. I haven't heard that before, even though if that's what I was describing. And yes, belief is everything. RIP to your Pisces mum too. I've got a grand water trine, so I've definitely got the energies of the water signs. I wouldn't say Pisces has to have Scorpio energy to be dark. I feel it takes the message away from the Pisces sign itself, but I definitely get where you're coming from personal chart wise. Scorpio's influence can definitely encourage you to take a swim on the dark side. Pisces would usually rather see the light side of things. Pimping ain't easy at all, my friend. You said pimping, right? Hilaire says, I'm Pisces Sun and Moon, Aries Venus and North Node with Libra rising, and my point of view is regardless, everyone is your enemy. Even your truest friends and family can and will ultimately betray you because they think they can and could get away with it, which they are wrong. Not every Pisces is special, nor are we good or evil. We are everything. All the time, 365 days a year. It's very hard to be a Pisces. I was born in the year of the snake. If I get to come back in a next lifetime as an animal or reptile, I choose to be a sea snake or a dolphin, both equally deadly or poisonous besides an okra or bull shark. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm done being good or doing the dirty work. I'm just done. True words. Can't trust everybody. It's not easy trusting our own selves at times, let alone others. It does get long being a Pisces, especially when you're not on autopilot and you deep stuff. But on the flip side, all this makes us very resilient people. Pisces is a very, very resilient sign. We can take a lot of damage. We can take on the whole zodiac's pain when we're in a healthy state. But it is tiring, I admit. Laurie says, being a Pisces is so rewarding and frustrating at the same time. All I know is that I'm always ready to fight against the world and then talk it out, if anything still exists. It's exhausting. I feel you, Laurie. Constant battle. AK says, that tsunami analogy was perfect. They're silent and terrifying. Being a Pisces with an Aries Mars requires so much patience. The ram in me wants to go off, but the Pisces has restraint. Our angry energy is so calculated, it's crazy. But it makes sense though. A sign of extreme highs will also be capable of extreme lows. Well said. That Aries Mars will be tough to handle because you're basically walking around fully charged, energy-wise. Pair that with when you're in negative Pisces mode, that can be a recipe for destruction and or disaster. It can also be beneficial for acting quick though, because the longer Pisces lets things simmer, the worse it gets. Pisces anger or negative energy in general is nothing to play with. It's psychotic. It's for the best when a Pisces chooses to swim away to heal. If you know, you know. Atom497 says, at my best I can be Christ-like. At my worst, I'm the Joker. Heath Ledger version. Yeah, Heath Ledger played that role a bit too well. But that's literally the range of Pisces. Jesus with a shotgun. MK says, you know what's funny? I just realised every Pisces in the comment section's got a fake or creative nickname, including me. Wild as fuck. It's the way of the fish. If exposure isn't necessary, then we stay hidden, or at the very least, low key. This is Pisces settings, confessional booth settings, no face no case settings, silent assassin femme fatale settings. Some of us are hidden after being out there, and some of us are out there after being hidden. One thing a Pisces will never be is out there forever. Will always disappear. Same shit, different year. The Sun and Neptune are at war over here. Truth and Reality says, Pisces can be more gentle than cotton, more sweet than sweet, much intelligent, more quiet than silence, and also more sharper than knife and more dangerous than any others. Cause Pisces represents water. When water is quiet, it looks so beautiful, but when cyclone come into it, it can become the cause of extreme destruction. Lovely. Ain't it strange how we all say the same things but add some poetic analogies to it? But don't let how we say things lose focus of what we are actually saying. Listen. Petalina says, 1. Empathy, we know. 2. Sensitivity, we feel. 3. Adaptability, we flow. 4. Escapism, we recollaborate. 5. Creativity, we envision. 6. Loving, we heal. 7. Fierceness, we attack. 8. Fairness, we justify. 9. Truthful, we humble. 10. Secrecy, we conceal. Says it all. Fiona says, I wish I could find my person, but I am clueless. I've dated dumb, ugly, fat, skinny nerds and some gangsters. I wish he would show up soon. Damn, this Pisceana has been cleaning up. I'd expect a Pisces woman's resume to look like that. Not one sort of person, just different types. Hopefully the right one turns up. It takes a lot to secure the mermaid. It's very easy to end up shipwrecked, fellas. So be careful with these females. C. Payne says, someone who was close to me and my kids was messed up to my kids. We were going through it and I trusted her. Well, I showed up and knocked up on that apartment door. Her man answered. I smiled like always. Dude, cause it's not him, dude. She came towards the door and said, come in, what are you doing? I said, nah. She came to the door and he stepped back and I punched those lips hard. All I said was, you know why? I've decided she floated off the planet on a balloon or something. I had to freaking say something again. I'm sorry. Not to say I'm proud of any of that at all, but looking at it, it can't be healed. So violence isn't my nature, or it is, but man, not the clothes I wear all the time. Oh, it's in your nature and you proved it. You also used it as a necessary measure because like you said, not looking at something won't heal it. As in when something needs to be addressed, then address it, don't ignore it. Can't be playing with anyone's kids either, you must be crazy. I can picture that scenario. She probably saw you at the door and thought she'll get a little Pisces cuddle and an air to yabber in for a few hours, but instead got boxed. That's how Pisces do it. No drama, just show up and act. That's risky business doing that in front of a man too, because some men will fight a woman for knocking out their woman, but the fish don't care about all that. He probably said, oh lord. Picked his girl up and closed the door, propped her up in a chair and wiped off the fish girl fist dent in her face. It's always worse when Pisces has to turn on someone they once trusted. You'll get manually removed from that protection zone. Don't play with these Pisces women. I've already told you how they can get when mad. Home visits, knock on your door like Jehovah's Witness to really show you the Lord. You look through the keyhole and see Jesus, not knowing that Pisces has embodied Satan. The True Crime Connoisseur says, this was in response to the first Pisces Comments video to a Capricorn who basically said Pisces isn't about it. So True Crime says, the Capricorn who made that comment should ask the Capricorn ex I divorced and how his life has never been the same since. Not only has he fucked me over, but also our children. So that's karma times 5. He has less than 7 years to live and his existence is pure misery. We Pisces don't need to take revenge because like someone else said, the divine takes it for us. I never had to get my hands dirty on anyone who has done me wrong. The dude who violated me when I was young is a quadriplegic in a wheelchair. Damn. And the lady, former neighbour, who smiled in my face while she was having an affair with the husband ended up getting her throat slashed. Damn. Like a Joker from air to air, from another scorned dude. Don't fuck with Pisces because you most definitely start something you're not ready to see the end of. Damn. I never get my hands dirty on anyone in revenge and I don't hold grudges. And the divine has always let me see when shit hits the fan for my enemies. Fuck around and find out. Damn, I felt that. I don't care what anyone says. You can pick up energy in words. This Pisces is on fire. I mean, there you go. Right from the fish's mouth. You know what's funny? There's people who actively seek revenge. And there's the ones who don't. In general, Pisces is protected anyway. But I secretly feel the ones who do take revenge do so to teach a less detrimental lesson. Maybe. Because from the moment us Pisces get violated, our minds start ticking. It starts sending signals, that tsunami starts forming. So if you take it and go harm the person, it gets released on a physical level. Not condoning it, I'm just being real. When we don't take revenge ourselves, and even if we move on, just cut the person off or something, we've still sent the signals. So that tsunami you thought you controlled and dissolved is still there spiritually. So that's what our ancestors used to take revenge for the Pisces, and that's why you get stories like this. And there's no limits either way with Pisces. People suffering, people getting crippled, people getting disfigured, having people waiting to die, being told their time's on a counter. That can be worse than instant death in some cases. Just food for thought, because one way or another, that Pisces mirror will reflect, whether we're vengeful or not. If we feel a way about it, the other party will 100% receive something. But damn true crime connoisseur, Capricorn will definitely be one of the fuck around and find out signs in regards to Pisces, cause they may not take us seriously, might just see us as hopeless dreamers. All this is for dark-sided Capricorns, by the way, whenever I mention them. But when we get to see karma act on our behalf, we shouldn't feel nothing from it. Just a simple acknowledgement that they got theirs. No happiness, no relief, no nothing. That's how you know you've truly healed and don't give a fuck about that person. They no longer exist. But that feeling is the same feeling a Pisces will have when they take revenge themselves. It's just principle. Just depends on the type of fish and the type of violation. Us Pisces are weird though, because we technically do hold grudges, but in a different way. We don't carry it around with us, we bury it. We can talk to and have full positive conversations about someone we know is gonna get a shark in one day. But we don't live in the negative feelings on a day-to-day basis. Us and Aquarius are great at that detachment. But when it's time to revisit it, we know where we buried it. We can dig it back up and feel like that violation has just happened. And it will appear to others that that's how we've been feeling the whole time, holding malice and being fake, when we haven't. We just didn't forget. We just held off on your karma. It was always coming. We just knew that and you didn't. As you say anyway, connoisseur, karma acted on your behalf and pulled a front row seat for you too. Do you like your popcorn sweet or salty? Ria says, as a forensic psychologist, I alternate between levels of consciousness to align with my client's state and to connect. I always know when someone is lying or manipulating, but took years to learn discernment. This is Pisces, a professional and matured one too. Forget about it. Take note of the years to learn discernment part. We Pisces will know we got gifts like the ability to genuinely be empathetic and read people, but we have to learn to master it. And when you're able to use these skills in your actual career and not just people you know on a personal level, then you're winning. Insane Mary Jane says, did you feel sick after you rejoined your body? I was outside late one night with my telescope and it was a little early to see what I wanted, so I climbed into my Suburban and meditated. I had no idea that I was out of my body until headlights came towards me and I opened my eyes before I was back in my body, and it was a sickening sensation of vertigo and I felt nauseous for a while. Wow, the soul literally travels when we dream or zone out. I wasn't awake when I rejoined my body. In my experience, I sat up out of my body, had that sudden terror realization, then I laid back down into myself, so to speak. I don't remember anything from my head hitting the pillow again till waking up properly a few hours later, but I felt pretty normal. But I've had sleep paralysis where I've felt that empty, sickly feeling in the stomach after regaining control of my body. Well, meditation's powerful, as you know, Jane. Plus, you was out with your telescope. You was in seeking mode. What was the moon like that night? You've got your telescope out to get a glimpse of Venus or something, and your soul said, nah, I'm actually gonna travel there. Yeah, you rest in your Chevy, I'll be back soon. Then that car came along and messed it up. That's such a Piscean experience. Out at night alone, looking to the stars, meditating, then soul traveling. Beautiful yet scary. Tihan says, my best friend is the only one who knows I speak through music. At any given time, if you want to know how I feel, listen to the music I'm playing at the time. That's definitely one of the cheat codes to understanding a Pisces. We're the quietest zodiac sign overall, so we may be silent sometimes, don't want to talk, but our music will always speak for us, whether we're listening to something or creating music. Listen and you'll have a gateway, a way to understand. Alexis Green says, Pisces here, born February 26th. Where are my Pisces at? We here, girl. We are indeed a sensitive sign, observant, very spiritual, deep and all hearts, always. I believe our heart is our flaw sometimes in life. We definitely feel too much in this world, when others around can be super cruel to others. I also think two Pisces in a relationship not such a great thing. My first love, my ex-boyfriend, my younger son's father was a Pisces like me, and we brought out the worst in each other. Toxic like two okras, mad as hell. Has anyone ever seen an okra mad or upset? Some Pisces can get angry like a killer whale, the guidances of the ocean. I love the emojis. Pisces and Pisces will always be a tricky duo. Even two Pisces friends can be a problem, so romantically, I don't know. It will start off good, great vibe, etc. But nobody can cramp a Pisces vibe like another Pisces can, even worse if they're the same sex as you. I just think one fish is always going to eat the other in the end. There can't be two immune systems. One Pisces per setting's probably the best unless it's direct family or you found true love in another Pisces. But even then with like family, you have to mind your family members if they don't check for you. You can't even silently cuss out your Pisces partner in your head when they piss you off, because they'll hear it. Like, who you calling a dickhead? What do you mean? I didn't say nothing. Whatever, I heard you and you're the dickhead. My lips didn't even move. You're the dickhead, I heard you. Even two matured Pisces would eventually have an issue. Probably ended up fighting over who gets to use the meditation room first. Puff puff give turns into, but I paid for this, I'm not even high yet. Wait, how's the co-parenting going? Does any of you lot have two Pisces parents? I'd like to hear how that turned out. The real follower of Higher says, Pisces men are too soft for Taurus. Curly Hair responds, not really. Most Tauruses make us feel like we are in a competition with them on who makes the most money. I was with one and that's why I left. Box Elder also responds, the Taurians I've dealt with have been full of crap and manipulative. I call them out on their bullshit all the time and they just retreat. Pisces men are too soft for Taurus is funny, but I get what they are trying to say. The way Taurus women naturally are will make us Pisces men only want to show them a soft side. Because you know how Taurus can be a little bossy, rigid, fixed. Fortunately and unfortunately, Pisces can weaken and fool anyone and don't even need to be on a high vibration. Where a Taurus will come back and say Pisces is soft is after they have been softened up. Because naturally, Taurus women can read people or are cautious. Taurus women have that don't bullshit me look. You know that resting bitch face don't play with me look. So say the Pisces then cheats on them or something. That's when the Taurus feels like extra violated. Like, wait, I lowered my guard. I ignored my natural senses for this sweet lover boy and he cheated on me. Oh hell no. Even worse if the Pisces man comes back begging saying sorry. Taurus will think, this same guy who used to beg that we pour extra bubble bath in the tub and have the room candle lit cheated on me. Oh hell no. This same soft guy who sucked my toes so good that I bought him a car on credit and I'm still paying off for it now. Oh hell no. But it's true what Curly Hair said. Taurus can have a competitive side. The reason we'll clash with them or they might not fuck with us is because we tap into their energy when it comes to being greedy and making money. Taurus's competitive side is similar to Aries coupled with the jealousy of Cancer, but it's low key and mainly to do with material things. It has to get pretty bad for them to show it, but that can also be where Taurus can be extremely manipulative when things don't go their way. So also, it's true what Box Elder says, but they do sometimes backtrack when addressed. I've already said Cancer is the most manipulative sign emotionally, but Taurus is right up there when they're ready. The two moon signs. Fiona says, I am a dreamer. The best part of my day is dreaming. When I sleep at night, I have amazing experiences. Visit heaven, I'm visited by my dead ex-boyfriend, I can fly over the city, meet famous people. I love it. That's beautiful, that's Pisces. Flying dreams are the best, that's definitely my favourite type of dream. I used to have lots of trouble flying in my dreams when I was younger, but now I'm fully in control whenever I have those dreams. Like can consciously fly in my dreams, it's weird. Slum Kid says, I remember casually sidestepping a big ass pitbull who jumped at my face, grabbed his collar in mid-air and took him down to the ground restricting his movements. My reaction and strength even surprised me. That's that Pisces intuition. We don't realise how adaptable we are, how quick our reflexes are until faced with dangerous situations. We react as if we're fish in water, quick, swift, zoom. Cat-like reflexes, nah, fish-like reflexes. That's the Pisces soul guiding you. Can you imagine that dog's reaction when it got flipped mid-air? That pit thought they were going to taste some human flesh and ended up pinned to the ground by a fish. How embarrassing. Jason Lee says, a bad Scorpio, not all, will manipulate you and make you feel like he will destroy you, but won't actually do it because he thinks he may not have to. An underestimated Pisces that has been constantly pushed over the edge won't even entertain the thought of mentally breaking you down before killing you. He will just put you down, coldly. Life has left in his eyes because you deserved it and had it coming. Damn, that is true words. Scorpio's first line of attack is intimidation. They'll want to kind of warn you and or play with your emotions before striking if necessary. If they can control you with intimidation alone, then they will. They can live off your fear. Pisces does not play with their food at all. They won't care about the cost once they've made up their mind. They will see any menu they're looking at as a free buffet and get to feasting. You know what's the maddest part about Jason's comment? It's the little LOL at the end of what he's just said. Hey, don't piss him off for real. We get sinister like that. Love My Cat says, I can't stand seeing abuse on animals. I always comment that the person doing the abuse will get their karma, and karma is patient and doesn't always go after the person directly. And sometimes, karma will choose something or someone they love. That's true karma. I am a true Pisces and can read people, and I call this a blessing. It's a blessing indeed. Yeah, I don't like seeing abuse on animals either. Not like that Slum Kid comment where he chokeslammed the dog in reaction. I'd do that too, but in general, nah. The karma comment brings me back to an earlier response though. These are the most dangerous Pisces, I'm telling you. The ones who don't attack you physically. I'm here talking about John Wayne Gacy and Richard Ramirez when a random Pisces could be the reason for a brick randomly falling on someone's head as they're passing a scaffolding on their way to work. Cause Pisces technically curses you from behind the scenes. As this Pisces said, and I quote, I always comment that the person doing the abuse will get their karma. So they have set the karma up by saying it. Whether they're aware or not, because bad things doesn't always happen to bad people. Intervention is needed sometimes, and this is exactly one of the reasons why Pisces are here. We are cleanup crew. So innocents do get caught in the crossfire, unfortunately. But what does these actions sound like to you? A hidden enemy. Point blank period. Be careful who you offend and be extra careful if they're also a Pisces. They'll hex your ass in the name of justice. That's that Venus influence. So is God dealing with your enemies or is it just you doing it, Pisces? Because we are all children of the Creator. Would you take revenge on one of your kids for picking on their sibling? Your other kid? No, you'll intervene to bring peace. That's the light side. Karma be fucking people up on some dark demon timing. On Saturn's timing. The planet of karma. And Saturn loves Pisces world, the 12th house. So it's crucial to be aware of how powerful your words are as a Pisces, because that we're the closest to that realm. Things are listening and responding to us, granting the wishes of the fishes. Calling Jupiter Pisces' ancient ruler as if it don't matter anymore is crazy work, because that influence is literally one of the main reasons Pisces can Pisces how they do. The luck and opportunities are abundant, whether it's for good or bad. Quest says, peace, unparalleled breakdown once again. Funny because my mother is a Gemini and father is Aquarius. Both think in absolutes and till this day, respectfully say on occasion, I didn't raise you like that. Or have rigid beliefs. Drove me mad as a kid being extremely intuitive and creative, music writing blah blah Pisces shit, and still until this day at 40. I didn't have a terrible childhood at all. In fact, I'm an only child. So that and being a Pisces, I've always had that independence and freedom to express, to a degree. Read the book Kabbalion. I swear it reeks of Pisces. So have the wisdom to understand and overstand that the light cannot exist without the dark and such. Some of those 11 other signs see 100% of a half. Stay true. Yeah, I feel this, Pisces. I can imagine the struggles you had as a Pisces kid with airy parents. Being the only child would have definitely helped you big time though, as you said. But those situations where you're around people with rigid minds is what will often make Pisces play devil's advocate for fun. We'll have too many rebuttals. We wouldn't even have to think, they'll just be there in our head after listening. We may struggle voicing it, depending on the Pisces, but it will be there. Whether you want to hear it or not, we've definitely got that wind-up merchant side. Natural sarcasm. Just depends on who you're dealing with if we turn it up or tone it down. So that can actually benefit a Pisces being around closed minds because it forces our minds to expand on its own. It forces us to think of or imagine more because our minds are limitless. Even if the other person's not leaving the conversation open for discussion, presenting limits to us is what makes us expand. That's the Jupiter influence. The only way we can think in a single track, closed-minded way is if we delude ourselves. I'll add that book to the list for sure. Hadi says, as a Pisces, I try not to let my rage get the best of me, because as a 12-year-old, I got in a fight bashing the person's head on the side of the pavement. So as an adult, I try my best to avoid conflict, to avoid prison time. It's not worth it. My ex put a knife to my face, I snatched it out his hand, putting it towards his belly, catching myself before it got ugly. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I give many chances, too many chances. I'm extremely forgiving until I've had enough. Then vengeance takes over and you'll never see it coming till it's too late, especially for a person I give my heart to. Right from the fish's mouth. Again, you'll more than likely see Pisces described as non-confrontational, but a Pisces themselves will tell you they avoid getting in confrontations in fear of what they will do to you. Pisces don't run from others, they run from their own self, their own soul. It's vicious and we know it. It's why you will hear some Pisces who are known for evil acts say things like, I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. Something took over me. They're in disagreement with themselves. But it's true what they're saying. We want to be happy-go-lucky and optimistic. It's why we like the light so much, because we know how dark it can get. Wild Moonchild says, I work in a high-stress environment, so I have to first come home, do a spiritual cleanse and create art. That's where I meditate. When I create pieces, I'm so consumed that I don't know what I'm creating until I see my finished product. Blows my mind every time. I'm amazed at my ability to transmute negative energy into art. Everything about this comment just screams Pisces. A healthy Pisces. Did you deep that last line? I'm amazed at my ability to transmute negative energy into art. These are the tools we readily have available to us Pisces. Stress, anxiety, depression, all these things are normal here, but always turn to your creative side when overwhelmed, as it's the easiest way to realign yourself and unload, with the added bonus of creating some good shit. Fan Art says, karma is real shit around Pisces. People try to hurt me almost dying. End up almost dying, I think you meant. A few years ago, a childhood friend invited me to a party in another neighborhood. I was feeling so tired that night I didn't go. So he borrowed my motorcycle and invited my worst enemy that he knew to go with him behind my back. On their way back, he crashed, falling on his face and breaking most of his front teeth with no damage done to my motorcycle. Think of protected people as Pisces people. Spiritual world got our back. Pisces are definitely protected, and that includes our things because our energy is on it. It's never about the actual physical or material thing with Pisces, it's our energy that is surrounding that material thing. Anything that is in our ocean is protected as we are. If your friend actually saddled your enemy too, then he literally was asking for that to happen. Your bike threw them off for you. Your friend tried to be sneaky and got exposed, which eventually happens with Pisces in many cases. But what made it worse is obviously the sneakiness involved your things. You see how Pisces don't need to go out and reveal things. Things gets revealed to us. Onyx Moon says, it is scary. I've always had that demonic angel thing going on. My shark is dark as fuck. I just really work hard to keep it down or away. Despite all my empathy and love, I think 90% of my energy was spent holding my demonic self back. Now I discovered the power of going into neutrality, and becoming neutral helped so much. I think my sun and moon is conjunct in Pisces. I've always been the darkness and found access to the light later on in life in my 30s. I now love being both heaven and hell. Always been a world giver and fountain of wisdom. My inner transcendence is the gift I gave myself within. Listen to the words, people, straight from the fish's mouth. Hadi says, my toxic boyfriend got too many chances. He's lucky all I did was stand him up while he mistakenly thought I was treating him to whatever he thought he could get out of me. He was wrong. He's got but so many chances left till I turn into Houdini and disappear. See, this is a Pisces on the verge of ghosting. Ask her boyfriend how things are and he'll probably think this isn't even on the cards. Poor fella. Taurus Colbert says, I remember one time when I was at work, my supervisor was trying to bully me and talk to me any kind of way in front of people. I wasn't having it, so I told his ass off. He challenged me to a fight after work, in the woods by ourselves. At that moment I paused, because if that would have happened, he would have been a dead man. In other words, my not reacting saved his life. By the way, he a Scorpio, but on March 9th, gang gang. Gang gang indeed. Man, these Scorpios always involved. Your supervisor really tried to see you outside. He thought going somewhere isolated, one-on-one with a Pisces in a hostile situation would have worked out well for him. Well, yeah, man, Scorpios will definitely try to pick on a Pisces or probe. It's because they sense something is there and want to find out. Plus, Scorpios like to fuck with death, and they sense that shit in Pisces, not knowing or caring that they can actually end up dead. They don't care. You avoided a big trap though. There's no way that would have been the end, no matter what the outcome, no matter who offered who out. Peaceful handshake and get back to work after a tussle in the woods with your supervisor, who is a Scorpio. Oh hell no. You can't trust some Scorpios, they can do you dirtier than most. They're the snake at lowest vibration. It's good for others when they're up front, because Scorpios are snipers. When they strike, you won't see it coming, similar to us, so you triggered him enough to be direct and expose himself by asking for a fight. You already won that battle when you deep it. He was starting shit, you didn't have it and told him off. Now he's talking about let's fight. Nah, sit down and hold the L. We just have a strong connection with Scorpios, strong gravitational pull between us and them in good and bad ways. Andrew Graham says, "We will give you chance after chance after chance. We will stick by you through thick and thin, but if you betray us, if you treat us like garbage or push us aside, then we look elsewhere. We slowly cut the cord and move on somewhere else. We don't cause a scene, we just leave. No notes to voicemails, just go. It's better that way." It truthfully is better that way. Now, just to wrap this up, I received this email from a fellow fish. So JD says, "See the experience you explained here when you said you saw your body still lying on the bed? Well, that happened to me like 2 weeks now, and I'm lost about that experience." So JD's on about an experience I had where I sat up in the night and felt myself come out of my body. And as I was sitting up, I could see myself still lying down behind me, and I panicked. Well, I didn't actually turn around and look at my body, which sounds like that happens with you. It would have freaked me out even more if I did, so I feel you. But I think it's all about perspective. I don't know how often you dream or how lucid your dreams are, but what usually happens when we dream? We usually become aware mid-dream, like, hey, I'm at a party, oh look, there's my uncle, or whatever. It's like we wake up in the dream. But do you ever wonder how you got there? What if every night when we dream, our soul actually leaves our body to travel and we just sort of wake up once we're at the destination? So for all we know, these dreams or experiences we have when we are aware of when our soul leaves our body, as we lay there, maybe we're just seeing the start of a dream. We become conscious in the dream way too early, as dreams and such is all subconscious until it's not. Could be a glitch, or could be because you're supposed to be aware of this occurrence. Now imagine you had that experience every single night. You wake up and see yourself lying down. What are you going to end up doing? You're going to start exploring. You will consciously leave your bed, leave your house, and realize you aren't restricted. You can jump as high as you want, you can fly, you can swim through the air. You will realize you're lucid dreaming, but you have been in control from the start of the whole sequence. I haven't had that exact out-of-body experience since, but I lucid dream every other night. Just the other day, I was flying over my primary school and the surrounding location. Now, I've never seen a bird's eye view of that area. I've never been in a plane or helicopter and flown over that area. So how the hell do I know what it looks like from a bird's eye view? At nighttime, when the streets are empty. I feel that experience of you waking up and seeing your body is just the start of a sequence. Maybe there's people out there who are conscious from the minute they leave their body to the minute they return before they wake up in this reality. Obviously, I did wonder if I died for a few seconds in my experience. Some people who have actually died has said they saw their body before coming back to life. That out-of-body experience. But if that was the case, it wasn't your time. Or mine. You're still here to tell the story, and it's a cool one too. Just keep a positive mindset through these experiences. It's why we got Jupiter co-ruling us through these Neptunian dreamy experiences. Because from the minute we look at their experience as positive, We're gonna explore that shit and the options will be limitless. Imagine what you can discover in a dream and then bring into the waking life. That's what Pisces is about. We unfortunately and fortunately get to experience life and death in one. So the initial fear is valid. Just remember, Pisces is about the soul, not the body. For you to see yourself lying down, what does that tell you? Who or what are you then? The body is just a vehicle. It's a temporary home. Ever had spaghetti arms in a fight whilst dreaming? Ever had a dream where you're falling and wake up before hitting the ground? Ever had a dream where you got killed? Like you get shot or stabbed and you wake right up? It's because the soul is infinite. It just resets. You can't die there. You just multiply. The body can shut down, as people do die in their sleep, but the soul then just leaves. This is why nightmares can be so scary, because what would have killed you if it happened in the waking life, you may survive the whole ordeal in that nightmare. Like a lion eating you alive in a dream. You may live through that whole experience in the dream and then wake up with all the trauma from that experience. Being a Pisces is nothing to play with, and that sort of dream-related trauma is what we purposely can dump onto someone in reality without ever experiencing it in reality. But to transmute the energy, the terror from that experience is why a Pisces enemy is crazy, because you don't know what they can or will bring to you. You want to hear something funny? One time I got hit so hard in a dream that I woke up. I was squaring up to this guy in my dream and he punched me so hard that I remember flying backwards. Then I woke up. So my soul must have flew all the way back into my body and woke me up. That's embarrassing, because there was a crowd there and I'm sure a couple spiritual babes was there too. And I can still see that guy's face perfectly. I don't know who the hell that was. Either way, you just gotta embrace it all. These experiences make or break Pisces people because it doesn't align with reality until it does. So you can feel like you're crazy. You just got to realize it's just another side we are connected to, and it's another way to link the worlds. So embrace it all, JD, and try to gain control. And if you ever consciously fly over a building in a dream and see someone with a Dan Gargan t-shirt walking into what appears to be a spiritual brothel, just mind your business, please, brother. Now shut your ass up. No, actually, write more. Share your views and experiences, and I'll include them in future videos. But please, for the love of God, just put your seatbelts back on and make sure that aisle is clear. We'll be arriving at our destination shortly.